Flying blind feels so uncomfortable. You literally have your body telling you one thing is happening, and yet your flight instruments tell you an entirely different thing is happening. I remember my first time shooting an instrument approach. I was all over the place. I was not where I was supposed to be at all, and it was hard. I thought it'd be relatively easy because I practiced under the hood, but it wasn't. And I was surprised how poorly I performed my first time in the clouds. I remember talking to an older pilot one time, and he was telling me a story about when he flew through a cloud. He was in the cloud and he thought he was fine, but when he came out of the cloud, he was upside down. That's what flying in the clouds can do to you. You see nothing outside the cockpit but a wall of gray. You don't see anything but gray. Basically, none of your senses work anymore, and then once your visual senses are taken away, then you literally have nothing to depend on anymore. Your flight instruments are incredibly important because they are the only indication of what is up and what is down. And so you have to have complete and total faith on your flight instruments, because even though your body might tell you you're upside down, if your flight instruments tell you you're right side up, you are right side up. And you have to lose your sense of up and down in your body and learn to say no to your own sense and trust your flight instruments instead. Most of my life, I was convinced that I was not going to be a pilot. At first, it was the issue of, well, I'm never going to learn to fly because it's far too expensive. I'm not going to waste money like that and learn to fly. If I did that, it'd have to be for a career. But I'm not going to be a pilot for a career. I'm going to be a doctor for a career or a lawyer or something, I don't know, something more generally accepted by our community. I got here to PUC and I had myself way overloaded. I was taking, I feel like 3 majors. I was pre-med, I was a religion major, I was an aviation major, and I was in the honors program. My advisor said, you're gonna have to drop something. And at first I thought to myself, no, I'm not. That's ridiculous. Why would I have to drop something? The more and more we talked, it wasn't so much that I knew I had to drop something, but I realized through our conversations that flying was something that I really enjoyed versus medical work was something I didn't necessarily enjoy. We talked about what it means to actually want to be a doctor versus want to be a pilot or whatever else. And we talked about how in Guyana, when I was working there, 8 hours of flying would feel like 5 minutes. But an 8-hour day volunteering in the operating room, an 8-hour day there would feel like an 8-hour day. My advisor here at PUC told me, if you're gonna be a doctor, it's gotta feel like 5 minutes. Becoming a pilot has been kind of flying blind for me. I love flying, and I feel like I was given a gift to do so. I feel as though I'm pretty good at what I do. And I think that that is kind of, perhaps in some way, my purpose in life. You gotta do what feels like 5 minutes.